Big Sil's National Football Show, when you don't get kissed for 3 hours. This is the show of truth, justice, and the Big Sil's way. We lay it on the line for you. We tell you the truth. Some shows don't. Some wave their pom-poms. Not Big Sil's here. We tell you the way it is. Eagle fans, you're in trouble. Oh, by the way, on December 28th, you think Wounded Duck Lane Johnson can handle Nick Bosa in a football game? Okay? That would be like The Exorcist. It'd be a horror movie. Nick Bosa would destroy Lane Johnson today. And I give Lane all the credit in the world for wanting to go out there and gut it out. Well, more appropriately now, right? Gut it out. Lane's not coming back this year. Prepare for that. He's not coming back. So you've got to adapt like every other NFL team does. And if he happens to try to come back, great, it's gravy. But if I were you, I wouldn't get my little hearts all set on him playing in the playoffs. He got hurt in Chicago. He got more damaged in Dallas. You think he's going to get better? This is a rest injury. He needs surgery. That's not getting better. He is lost for the year. Prepare for that. Prepare for that. And on top of that, have this in the back of your mind. Hey, if things work out and he plays, wonderful. But don't put him out there against Nick Bosa in the NFC title game and think you're going to block him if you're 50%. Bosa will crush him. Crush. He's the best defensive player in the NFL this year. And it's really not close. I don't care what they say in Dallas. Bosa will kill Lane Johnson in a football game. And then you're going to move your lesser tackle over to try to block Nick Bosa. By the way, so why would you move Jordan Mailata to the right side, knowing full well that Nick Bosa plays right DE? Why is that? To protect the blind side. So you're going to put Andre Dillard on Nick Bosa in the NFC title game? I mean, are you looking to get Jalen Hurts killed? You've got some decisions to make here over the next 2 weeks. It's not that cut and dry. It is not that cut and dry. Do you play Hurts or not? The way it's sounding to me, Gardner Minshew starting again. He'll be better against New Orleans. You watch that coaching staff throw the ball more, though. You watch. You'll make it a game. And then the Saints will beat you. The Eagles are not the same team. They're not. Why in the world would you move your best tackle on the blind side of your offensive line when your quarterback is injured and put a backup in there to protect the flank of your quarterback? Why in your right mind would you do that? So you're going to put the lesser of the two tackles, Andre Dillard, at left tackle to block guys like Bosa. Or if you get into the playoffs again and play Michael Parsons or the kid in Minnesota. You're really going to do that? And your quarterback's hurt. Good luck to you. Good luck. By the way, this is a note to Darius Slay and all the people over at the NovaCare Center. So Darius Slay blocked me on Twitter because I was critical of his play. I didn't know you were that tight-skinned, dude. I had no idea you were that tight-skinned. Play better. I didn't make it personal. I said, since Dallas, you sucked. He didn't like it. Okay. Hey, kid, play better. You haven't. You're not a $17 million cornerback right now. Play better. You have not. And I'll put this in here too. I'll put this in here. I don't really think he's played really well since CJ got hurt. And I think it's been magnified more. Has CJ Gardner-Johnson been covering for Darius Slay the last couple of weeks? Sure looks it. Sure looks it. To me, if I'm Howie Roseman, this is what you got to ask yourself. How's that secondary look without CJ back there? Not very good. Bradbury's been playing your best corner. Dude, play better. I get paid to do this. This is my job. Your job is to cover WR1. Not to sit there and worry about what Dan Sileo says on JAKIB Sports. Sitting there moaning and then sending me DMs telling me, hey, I don't like how critical you've been. Well, play better. That's on you. Play better. You don't want me telling the truth? Here's another guy that can't handle the truth. Jesus, dude. Sack up. Act like a pro. You're being criticized because you suck. Dude, nothing personal. Play better. You haven't. That secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles right now, not the best secondary in the NFC. Absolutely not. Not the way they're playing. Jonathan Gannon with that gaping zone hole in the middle of his scheme was exposed by Dan Quinn. You know how? He knew that linebacker couldn't cover tight ends. So what did he do? He took the backer out of the zone with the tight end. He knew Gannon would play this. Watch the 22. He would play the soft zone coverage. CeeDee Lamb ran across that zone like he was swimming the English Channel. He was wide open. Wide open. Take TJ out. That secondary's got too much real estate to cover back there. That's a Jonathan Gannon scheme issue with his defense and the structure of the defense. Everybody sees it. Everyone sees it. Bradbury's playing really well. He's your best corner. He's your best corner. You know, it almost seems like to me also that after Slay did a job on Jefferson, he shut it down the rest of the way. That guy made the Pro Bowl too. He ain't a Pro Bowl player right now. Look at what Devin says. 50% of Lane is still the second best tackle in the game. Not when you're playing against the best defensive tackle in the game and the best defensive player in the game. A 50% of Lane, he'll kill Lane Johnson. Won't be close. Be a 3-sack game, your quarterback gets banged up even more. Niners will beat you right now, even with Brock Purdy. God knows what your quarterback's health situation is. You don't even understand that right now. I mean, you put him in that game against New Orleans. Isn't that the home of Bountygate? Almost every single one of those defensive football players were involved in Bountygate. They come after your quarterback in New Orleans. Now, Greg Williams isn't there. Neither is Sean. Mickey Loomis is. Dude, don't paint this like I hear people saying this. I'm still confident the Eagles can win the Super Bowl. How? When you lose an MVP on your team. And I'm not talking Jalen. Delusional. Don't act like Cowboy fans. You're delusional. By the way, I'll make this point to you. I don't think this football team has the same ass that 2017 team had. That 2017 team wanted to get into a fist fight with you in a phone booth. I think Jonathan Gannon and Nick Sirianni, I think it's a really nice group of fellas. I think it's a great group of fellas. Everybody's all in harmony. Hey, I like a little bitching. Hey, I like a little guys with a little attitude. Hey, I like guys who talk shit and produce. I like a little bit of that. These guys here, man, I mean, seriously, I feel like I would, when I compare the 2022 attitude of the Eagles versus the 2017 attitude of that championship Eagle team, how come when I see this group, I feel like I'm in a room with CPAs? And when I'm in the room with those 2017 Eagle guys, I feel like I'm in a room with a bunch of jail wardens. Dinner, lights out. Why do I feel that? I feel like those guys are like guards in a jail. These guys, I feel like I want to get my taxes done. I mean, I don't know. Will that play a factor? Do nice guys win? I guess. But there was an attitude about that 17 team. I don't think this team has that attitude. I don't think they want to cut your throat. I think they want to kiss you on the cheek and go, nice game. Shake hands. Team spirit. What's the other one? Hey, congratulations on a well-played game. Fuck that. This is a fist fight. I don't know, just this is a different attitude. Hello, fellas, how are you? That other group would be like, you're in my chair. You sit down for a meal. That 2017 team, hey, you're in my chair, kid. Get the hell out of my chair. Yeah. It's just an attitude. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm overreacting here with this. Right? Maybe I'm overreacting. Eagles lose Lane Johnson. You hear Eagle fans? I could swear I'm listening to Cowboy fans. We're okay. We'll just put, what's his name? Andre Dillard over there or Jack Driscoll. We'll put him over there. Oh, who cares? We'll put him over. Hey, and we'll block Nick. And you're like, I'm sorry, what? Yeah, you're the same. Yeah, you look the same in that secondary without Avonte Maddox. And your so-called MVP has missed critical games because he's dual threat. Look what dual threat will get you. Potential of being a wild card instead of winning home field. Congratulations. You now got a dilemma. Do you play him or not? Hey, wait a minute, Niners. The Eagles are good, dude. But I think people misunderstand me sometimes. I'm not talking shit on them. I just want them to be great. Not good. Who wants to be good? You know who's good? The Cowboys. You know who's great? Kansas City, Cincinnati, the 49ers. Tell you what, when I look at the 49er team and the way they beat people up versus the way that the Eagles play, I don't know. I see a different attitude. Just a different attitude. 'Cause, 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 'c See, I like teams that want to cut your throat, stomp on you, leave you for dead, and then tell you, hey, we killed you. Like the Roman gladiators back in the day. We killed you, we took your land, and then we took your chicks. Sorry, but hey, nice game, guy. See you next year. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me. Hey, now I know why I'm not on radio. Because I can't be a cheerleader to that kind of shit. No, we're okay. We'll just put Sam Driscoll over on the right side and move Andre Dillard over to the left, and we'll be just as good. Minshew will play well against the Saints. You struggled against the Bears. What makes you think you're going to put a better effort up against the Saints? They're more talented than the Bears. Thank God it's at home. Thanks, Richie. It's Jack Driscoll, the human float. This is what the human float does. So Micah Parsons, okay? Saw Micah Parsons in that game one, held on like he was a float out in the water, bobbing away. I was like, hey, man, I don't know if that's going to cut it versus Bosa. He is 6'6". Minshew will blow the Saints out. Oh, yeah. Dude, you line him up over Lane Johnson right now, he will kill Lane. Yeah, seriously. You'll have to put Lane in the injury tent for the rest of the day. Take the day off, kid. It's over. Saints don't scare anyone. You see right there what he says? Trexler, he still thinks he's the same Eagle team that he was last Friday. You're not. You're not. You're less one of the most important people on your team. Actually, two. Yesterday, Gary Cobb thought the Avonte Maddox injury was more detrimental than even the Lane Johnson injury. CJ coming back? I hear people talking like that. A lacerated kidney? Okay, let me know when he's practicing first. Let me know when he's practicing. Hey, if you could have a mercy rule, Lane Johnson would need it on December 28th versus Nick Bosa. It's nothing about ability. Hey, I'd love to see Lane in 100% health going against Nick. That'd be a great battle. That was one of the battles I wanted to see. That ain't happening this year. You don't line him up. Then again, he wouldn't see him. You know why? Because he lines up over the left tackle. The guy who protects the blind side. Sills, Minshew's way better than Purdy. I think so. Jonathan Gannon. Oh, man. Jonathan Gannon. He's probably going to be interviewed for the Bronco job. He'll probably be interviewed for the Bronco job. Dan Quinn and him are going to be interviewed for that. I got a pretty good source that's telling me that. He's going to be interviewed for that gig. I think Dan Quinn gets that job, though. Okay? I think he gets that job. Yeah. This dude's always talking shit. What shit? Lane Johnson being hurt going against the Defensive Player of the Year? That's not shit. That's fact. Avonte Maddox being hurt? That's fact. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to take a line from my boy Barrett Brooks. Marshmallow Hands. What are you going to do about him? What are you gonna do about Quezzy? What are you gonna do about little Quezzy? What are you gonna do about him? Little Quezzy running around. Now that everyone knows you can go after him and you can kind of mug him a little bit, they're gonna. Oh, so he's soft. Great. Couple hits to the chin. Here we go. And he's Quezzy. Or Queasy. Queasy Watkins. That's his new name. Queasy Watkins. little queasy out here against Dallas. I got to run some routes here. Queasy Watkins. Holy cow. Hey, who's your number 3? Look at this. This is really good, though. A.J. Brown, outstanding. Devontae, great. Who's your number 3? Queasy Watkins. Queasy? Well, he gets a little queasy out there when he sees physical. Can you imagine Derwin James on him? Holy cow, this guy would shit his pants. Can you imagine Derwin James on him? Hey, man, I'm going to take everything out of your pocket and then strip you down. Oh, man. Queasy Watkins. Yeah, huh? Dude, Derwin James, man. That's my kind of ball player. Knock the shit out of you. I love him, man. He is my favorite NFL player today. And that says a lot for Big Sills because he's a Knoll. That kid went to Florida State. Trust me. Pissed off on that, too. Queasy Watkins. Lane is playing through injury. Who cares? So's half the league. Congratulations to you. Dude, how could you have Queasy Watkins in the offensive huddle if you're the Eagles, man? I just don't get it. All right. Hey, by the way, today, Coach of the Year. Week 17 of the NFL. We got a ton of stuff. Top 10 NFL quarterbacks. Man, these top 10 NFL passers are unreal. Merrill Reese, hour number 3, 5:30. The legendary voice of the Eagles. The Saints by the numbers. And if you're interested, some college football bowl games. Let's get to the topics here. By the way, I see you. This guy is so real. Thank you. I'm the one. Dude, I totally love the way Milton Williams is playing. I hope they give him more playing time. Merrill, love him. Hey, Sills, were you around the Cocaine Cowboys? Philly, no comment. Queasy Watkins. Jesus criminy. Barrett called him Marshmallow Hands. I'm calling him Queasy. Or maybe I should say Wheezy. Wheezy Watkins. Are the Eagles still the favorite in the NFC to get to the Super Bowl without Lane Johnson? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, I don't think that there's teams. Here. Let me give you my position. I think that the Eagles came back to the pack, not dropped below the pack. Does that make sense with Avante and Hurts hurt, Lane hurt? I don't think they've dropped below it. I think there's 5 teams that can win the Super Bowl this year. I told you who they were. Yeah, I think the Bengals can win. Chiefs, Bills, the Eagles, and the Niners. I think those 5 teams, and then it's kind of the rest of the dudes. Watch, Minnesota, I don't know. Dallas, I don't know. Chargers, I don't know. Right? It's kind of the rest of those dudes. And again, I want you to, I am not saying that the Eagles now have fallen below the Bills or the Chiefs. I'm not saying that. Not saying that. But I am saying that it's now a 5-horse race for the Super Bowl. Okay? Big Sills. Some replays of Cox taking plays off. He still does that shit. I watched it on the 22 too. Hey, he's been productive. This is brand new for him. Seals vomited in his mouth before he said Eagles. That's not true, maniac. These injuries are piling up at the wrong time. Absolutely. Because you know why? The Vikings are winning. It's not so much about the Cowboys winning. It's more that the Vikings are winning. Can you imagine if they would have lost that game to the Colts? You could rest your guys and not worry about it because you'd have home field wrapped up. These next 2 weeks, we're going to get to the other topic here. Are you going to play Jalen Hurts without Lane Johnson? Hey, here's what you have to think about. So Nick Sirianni today at the press conference was asked if he was going to play. He's getting better. He's getting better. Okay, he's getting better. So he's not better. And you've got now your dominant right tackle out. Okay? What does that necessarily mean? If you're a coordinator now, Jalen has to run more. Jalen has to run more. It's not like missing a running back or a wideout. You're missing one of your dominant tackles and one of the dominant players in the league. Jalen's got to run more. Are you going to run your quarterback with a hurt shoulder without Lane Johnson this weekend against New Orleans? Really? You're going to run him more? Or are you going to take a chance on throwing the ball and playing right into the hands of the Saints? Are you going to abandon the running game? Remember, he's dual threat. He's dual threat. He's going to have to run this weekend to beat the Saints. He's not going to beat the Saints in the air. That's not what he is. This guy puts up 50, 60 yards, 15 carries, and throws for 250. Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you really going to play Jalen Hurts this weekend without Lane Johnson? Are you? Why can't be you acting like the Saints are good, Sills? Dude, the Bears sucked and almost beat you. Washington just benched a guy that beat you. The Commanders benched the guy that beat you. That wasn't good enough for the Washington Commanders. They benched him. Wentz is back in. Are you real? Seriously, give me a thumbs up. Are you playing Jalen Hurts this weekend without an offensive lineman who helps protect him? And he's banged up in the shoulder. Are you playing him? I can't wait to hear this thing. Minshew mania, baby. And if you don't play him and you lose, that means you got to rely on the Giants, a divisional opponent. I'll put this in the back of your hat here, and you can take the hat off and take the little note that Big Sills told you. Remember, you killed Washington in the first game. Del Rio and Ron Rivera saw what you guys did. They came back with a whole new game plan against you and actually beat your ass with a guy who's on the bench now. Oh, my God. Hey, if I were the Saints, I'd go right at Slay. See how He's talking shit, too, on Twitter and shit, taking shots at me. Dude, worry about your game. It sucks right now. You're the lesser of the dudes in the secondary, actually. And since you're going to be 32 in January, I don't know. I don't know, dude. I sure like Bradbury and C.J. Gardner-Johnson more than I like you right now. Shit, get this. Johnson played so well. He played so well. He's still the co-leader in the NFL in interceptions. I don't know. I'll tell you what, Slay don't look the same. Get better, guy. Nobody wants to answer the question. Why? What happened? Are you going to play Jalen Hurts this weekend without Lane Johnson? This could end your year. Remember something about Nick Foles in 2017. Foles was a Pro Bowl guy at one time. A couple of years removed from that 17 Super Bowl, he was a Pro Bowler. Nick Foles, Gardner Minshew? I don't think so. Ray says, damn right, play him. There you go. Run them horses until they break their knees. You got it, baby. Play them guys. Oh, my God. The Eagles have one and done all over them. Because these are the inexperienced moves that coaching staff. By the way, I hear people say that this team is better than the 17 team. It's quite a statement when you haven't won shit yet. You haven't even secured home field yet. Have you won the East yet? And by the way, your coaching staff, in my opinion, inferior to that staff. Inferior. Yeah, Ray. Ray, do you know what we'll see means? It's the same as potential. You haven't done it. We'll see. We'll see if the Titanic gets across the Atlantic. What would you do, Sills? Very good. I think you need to play Jalen Hurts. Okay? Because you know what it's going to do? What do you here? I think you play Jalen Hurts. What is that going to do to the rest of the team? Jeff Stoutland goes to his O-line. You got to protect this guy. Don't let anybody near him. We need him. It's your responsibility to protect him. Jalen, it's your responsibility to protect yourself. Don't be reckless. If we lose the game, we lose the game. But when you put an inspirational leader like that out there, everyone ups their game because he knows he's playing through pain. And he wants to be out here with his guys. If that's me and I'm the head coach, I look at the player and go, you're going if you can. You're going. Every game is meaningful. There's no meaningless game in the NFL. There's no such thing as a meaningless game. Ask Chicago if that game was meaningless, the way they beat up the Eagles. There's no such thing as a meaningless game. Everything has context to it in life. Tell you what, Jalen Hurts steps out there. They win that game against New Orleans, and they secure home field advantage, and that guy puts his cannolis on the line, and he gets banged up. He throws for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. I'll say this to you, man. It just gave me goosebumps. Man, I'd go like this in the MVP race. I don't know, man. That guy did something that no other guy did this year, including Allen, including Mahomes, including Burrow. You know what that was? get out there when their team needed him the most, and he's banged up. And it would be the counter on what happened with Wentz versus Seattle years ago. That's why Howie Roseman drafted Jalen Hurts. He's not going to put his hand up and say, I can't go back in versus Seattle. He's going to put his hand up and go, I'm going versus New Orleans. If Jalen is 75%, I'm playing him. Dude, don't be soft. Everyone's hurt in the NFL. Everyone's banged up. A lot of teams are playing for something. Come on, man. Can I tell you what I think the Eagles are lacking right now? I don't think it's focus. Well, maybe it is some type of focus. But can I tell you what I think the Eagles have to get in playoff mode. See, they've been going around listening to all you guys tell them that they're the best team. Now they're doing business decisions. Should we play them? Should we not? Maybe Lane could come back in the playoffs. You guys are talking playoffs already? You haven't secured jack shit. You're not in playoff mode. That's why teams are playing you close. You don't have a playoff mentality right now. That's why it looks like the team's tired. You're sitting around, well, should Jalen play or should Minshew play? Who should we rest? Wow, sounds like you're ready. Ready to get bounced. One and done. Earlier, can I tell you this? Earlier in the year, I heard Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts go, we have one-game seasons. Now we're talking about today. Well, if we rest him here, we can get him back for the playoffs. We'll find out more about Gardner Johnson here. Vontae Maddox, we're still waiting to get some, hopefully get him back for the playoff. Jeez, really? You're ahead of yourselves here a little bit. Eagles are reading their press clippings. They're going to get bounced. One and done. That's not a winning mentality. I heard Barrett on Sports Take bringing this kind of stuff up. I'm going a little more knee-deep into it, and I'm getting more in your ass on it. That team's not ready for the playoffs. They're preparing for the playoffs. They ain't playing playoff football. Absolutely not. 3rd and 30? Yeah, you're on your game. 3rd and 30? Yeah, it sounds like you're on your game, dog. Come on, man. You got 2 weeks left, dog. You guys are doing business decisions. That's because your general manager runs your football team and not your head coach. There's exactly right here. Here's Howie all over this. Well, maybe we'll get him back for the playoffs. Dude, I wouldn't even be barking that publicly. Who are you telling that to? The Eagle fans? Don't say anything. Isn't that why New England is such a great cloak and dagger kind of organization? They don't tell you shit. They're not going to go like this. Well, this guy may be ready for the playoffs. They're not going to tell you anything. He's injured. He's not playing this week. That's the end of it. But the Eagles have to go into this giant, he needs surgery, and he's going to hold it off, and maybe dude, shut up. Don't be telling everybody everything. Make them have to prepare. Now, guess what they did? Now they gave the Giants notice that Lane won't be playing in the final week of the season. So I'm going to line up Kayvon Thibodeau over your weakest tackle. Why would you do that shit? That is so dumb. Well, the answer is your GM runs the frickin' team. Don't tell people and telegraph shit. Dude, Howie Roseman should be on the top of the NovaCare Center with a blanket giving smoke signals out on how and what he's doing. Dude, shut up. Shut up. You telegraphed everything. What if you lose to New Orleans? Giants know now. Hey, I could get into the playoffs. I'm going to put my best pass rushers over that guy. Now that I know that Devontae Maddox is not going to be playing in the next couple weeks, Dude, I'm going to run tight ends across that soft-ass Jonathan Gannon zone. Teams are game planning now. You're 2 weeks out. Why would you telegraph that? You should have just said this about Lane's injury. We're evaluating, and he will miss this week's game. That's all you're obligated to say. But the NovaCare Center goes into this, goes into this thesis. Well, if he's here, he's there. He goes in. I mean, make him have to prepare for you. Giants know 2 of the best players on the Eagles won't be ready for that game. Final regular season. It could be for home field. Big Seals, are you saying the Eagles season's over? No, I'm saying be smarter. Don't tell people everything. You don't have an obligation to over-explain yourself. But GMs do that. Coaches never over-explain themselves. We're on to Cincinnati. You ever think about making a quarterback move? We're on to Cincinnati. Coach, Brady didn't. We're on to Cincinnati. That's all he owes them. Nick goes into this, hey, Kobayashi, and, you like my shirt today? And, hey, don't telegraph shit. Nick likes to be philosophical. Hey, Nick, how about being a football coach? Don't tell everybody shit. Dude, players from the opposing teams watch this stuff. Oh, so now get this. Lane's out. What, you don't think Dennis Allen, who's a pretty good D coordinator / head coach, not so much, they're going to run fucking games over there on whoever's playing on the blind side, especially if you move Mulata. Think about how, I don't want to say how dumb, but how irrational that is. My quarterback's hurt. I'm moving my second best tackle to the right side. My blind side will be exposed for the quarterback. What does that mean? Jalen runs more. You want your quarterback with a sore shoulder running 20 times against the Saints? Come on, man. And by the way, the Saints are still in the NFC South race. Dude, don't make one problem 4. If you do that, at least Jalen, get this. Follow me here. Why you would never move Mulata. When Jalen drops back, if the kid gets beat, at least he sees the pressure. If you got a guy on his backside and he beats him, Jalen doesn't see the pressure. He's going to get killed. Or he has to run. I'm game planning that. If I was Dennis Allen, I'd be like this. If they move Mulata, okay, over to right tackle, which makes no sense. Lane Johnson is not the pass-protecting quarterback tackle. The blindside tackle is. Andre Dillard. The organization doesn't trust him. When was the Cowboys' last NFC Championship appearance? Devin, I think when Clinton was in the White House. Saints are going to run games and blitz the right tackle. If they move Mulata, yes. But at least Jalen will see that. Well, if you were in uniform, suit up against when you guys are doing typing, try putting it legible for me to read. The Cowboys? Dude, the Cowboys. Hey, the Cowboys are a concern now because of your injuries. The Cowboys are totally a concern. Play Hurts with no Lane Johnson. Whew. I'm doing it. I need that game. I don't want to come down to the Giants. Howie opened his freaking mouth and now telegraphed it that Lane's out for the regular season. Okay, so everyone in the league knows. By the way, Lane's not going to be ready for a divisional game, even with the bye. If anything, he'll be ready to go for the conference title game. If you're fortunate enough to get there. Howie Roseman has his finger. Dude, can I tell you, I wish Howie would just, once he got off the off-ramp, just pull into the gas station and turn the keys over to Sirianni and go, the team's yours now. He can't do that. No coach in his right mind would tell everybody what's going on organizationally. Nobody does that except Philly. When I saw the report that Lane Johnson was out and that the Eagles have said he's out until the playoffs, I'm like, why would you do that? You've got 2 games. If that was the last game of the regular season, I get it. But you haven't clinched even your division yet. Dude. Your GM, man, he's a handful. He's a handful. Bring Howie on the show. Sorry, I'm not on their White House list of media people to go to. You know, the little White House list that the press secretary has that they go to because they have loaded questions. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Yeah, you're a 13-2 team, my ass. You get waxed by the Niners right now. And that 13-2 will look awful dumb if you get bounced one and done. Don't let that happen. Like I told you this is going to either be a steak sandwich or a turd burger. Look at this guy here. You must report all injuries. Makes sense. That's not the point, jackass. Yeah, Lane's out. He's injured. He hurt his stomach. He's out this. You're not obligated to say how many weeks he's out as long as he's on the active roster. You don't have to put a definition behind it and then quote the Beatitudes about what you're going to do or not do. As long as he's on the active list, he's missing this week. All you have to do is no practice, limited practice, doubtful, out. That's it. I'll hook you up on letting you know how the injury report works. Most of the time, it's for the bettors anyway. The NFL is the only sport on Thursday that reports injuries for Sunday. Why is that? Yeah, so the sports bettors can put the line on it. Why do we even report injuries anyway? For gambling. What do you think? The injury report is to give the other team a heads up on who's hurt? No, it's for the bettors in Vegas and Atlantic City. The NFL releases an injury report. I don't care about it. Most people in the world don't, except people who bet. Isaiah, I don't think so. I'm not sure about that, but boy, the Commanders and the Giants may end up getting into the playoffs. That would be remarkable. The entire East gets in. 5-star. This is the problem with the new generation. They don't know the game. There's a game inside the game, right, 5-star? Don't tell your opponent anything about your weakness. Let your opponent have to game plan your weakness. Don't see, look, watch this. So look at what Sirianni and Steichen and Howie did this week. You put a bullseye on Jalen. He's still hurt. Your right tackle's out for the next couple weeks, probably the year. The middle of your secondary and your safety position, you came out and said Avante is out for, why would you say Avante is out for multiple weeks? All you had to do, as long as he's active, he's missing this week against the Saints. Boy, man, they don't do it right there. It's going to cost them. The meddling is going to cost them, and the inability to protect Hurts is going to cost. Remember, I said this. If the Philadelphia Eagles do not win the Super Bowl this year, it's the meddling of the general manager, telegraphing the injuries, and on top of that, it's the coordinator and Nick not protecting their quarterback during a stretch run. As I pointed out over the weekend, I watched the Bills put a wonderful game plan together. And there is no doubt in my mind. There is no doubt in my mind. They watched Hurts get beat up, and they went to Allen and they went, you want to have that happen to you? We're going to run the ball. And the Bills don't even have a running game. They still went for 238. Protecting the guy. Then, of course, you had one of the dumbass media people in Buffalo. Hey, you really don't have a high-powered postseason offense to win a Super Bowl. And Allen just shook his head because it was the game plan. He went, yeah, okay, and moved on. I talked to Ken Dorsey. Ken was like, you're one of the only people that see that, Sills. Tell me the truth. Did you watch Hurts get beat up? Ken Dorsey said, yeah, we weren't going to have Allen beat up against a 3-win Bears team. Unlike your Eagles. Congratulations. Got your quarterback hurt. Got your quarterback hurt. With 2 games left, 3 in the regular season, and one of those games was Dallas. It just can't be me that points this shit out. It just can't be. You know what? I'll tell you this, too. It's too easy. Philadelphia is the easiest media market I've ever worked. All you got to do is tell the truth. Easy. How he's doing is doing work. What, telling the Giants that Lane Johnson's out for the regular season? Congratulations. And the Saints? Oh, okay. Well, let's put a game plan together on games, and we're going to bring corner blitzes on Andre Dillard and Jack Driscoll. Jack Driscoll. Whew. They're going to work that side of the line. Jalen's going to be running for his life. It's going to be one hit, and it's over. Dual threat. And if they rest him, the Giants would have had 2 weeks to prepare Kayvon Thibodeau to rush an injured Hurts. The drama. Finally, some Eagle drama. All by the creator, Howie Roseman. I gotta love it, man. Woo-wee, this is good. Of all teams to lose to, too, the Cowboys. I'd rather have you lose to the Bears. Honestly. Have Jalen healthy and beat that Dallas team. Put them out of their misery. So, Dan, are the Eagles a mirage? No. When healthy? No. 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 No, no, no. No. I'd be a fool to say that. But you're not the same team. Jack Driscoll and Andre Dillard, who the organization hates. (13-2). When that thing gets bounced and the Niners chew you up like a Philly cheesesteak, you'll be like, what happened to 13-2? Oh, man. Oh, by the way, Nick Bosa, NFL Defensive Player of the Week. Congratulations to you, Nicky. I bet you're chomping at the bit to get a hold of Wounded Knee Lane Johnson. Oh, my God, this guy's, the Niners have everything set up for him here. Oh, yeah. And by the way, too, Jimmy G be back for that conference title game. Oh, man, it could be a massacre at Link. Nick Bosa is coming for you. So is Fred Warner. You better get healthy. Come on, Howie. Yeah, I love Doug Peterson's comments today. Doug was like, there's no meaningless games. Well, I wonder if that's a shot at Howie Roseman. When I saw Doug say that today, I got to think that that's a shot at Howie. They asked Doug if his players were playing this week because the final regular season game is against the Titans for the division crown. And Doug said this, something very interesting. There's no such thing as a meaningless game in the NFL. I was like, well, you were in one when you were in Philly. Your last coach game in the history of your career in Philadelphia was a meaningless game. And your general manager rigged the game for a loss. Pulled all the players, deactivated guys, pulled Jalen Hurts even. Threw the game, fixed it actually. Nate Sudfeld. We wanted to see. Hey, I can't even believe that Doug kept a straight face. I got to send him a text. How'd you keep a straight face on that? We wanted to see if Nate Sudfeld had anything in a meaningless game. To Howie, it's probably meaningless. For San Francisco market, Bob already worked there, dog, and crushed it there. Bob, I started my career there. KGO, KMBR, the ticket. I left there for Tampa to do morning drive in Tampa. Already worked it. Already been there. Already owned them. That's a pelt on Big Sil's belt. How'd you do in San Francisco? Well, I was the number one show when I had Sports Phone 68. So I'm already good with that. And I was the post-game show guy for the San Francisco Giants. It was all good to me. Winning! Oh. No, I was not fired in San Francisco, jackass. I left for Tampa. I was never fired there. Ever in San Francisco. I left. I know you read the internet and way to Google it. I wasn't fired there. I wasn't fired in San Francisco. I wasn't fired in San Diego. They were moving me to Boston. Why do you think I was doing night shift? I was doing double shifts in San Diego. You know that? Doing a morning show and then doing another show at night for WEI. A guy in San Diego, when they got guys around the corner, I did it for a year. They were getting me ready for mornings. I love how people put shit up there on the internet and all of a sudden it becomes real. Tampa I was. But then I had a job 17 days later, WQAM. Look it up. Wonderful. All right. We are going to do the quarterbacks who are performing the best in the NFL heading into Week 17. Man, there are so many great passing quarterbacks in the NFL today. Some of these numbers are unbelievable. Saints by the numbers. Hey, and the quarterback play has been great. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button, hour 2. Don't forget, in hour 3, Merrill Reese, voice of the Eagles, will be with us. You keep it right here on the National Football Show.
When it comes to the fight against insurance companies, large corporations, and the healthcare industry, injured victims are always the underdog. But that doesn't worry us. At Messa & Associates, we're an injury law firm from Philadelphia, and we come to fight. Our clients know that they've got representation with a chip on its shoulder, and it's the same chip that makes Philly the toughest city in the country. Call 215-568-3500 or visit us online at messalaw.com. Messa & Associates, the toughest injury firm in Philadelphia.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits, go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
Hi, I'm Jim Muehlbronner, Managing Partner at Del Val Insurance Group. Give us a call. We're a local, knowledgeable agency, not an 800 number. Go Birds!
Number 1, Jeff D'Ambrosio. Destination Downingtown is rolling back prices for a December to remember. For a limited time, you can own, not lease, brand new 2023 Jeep Wranglers for only $30,995 or $339 per month. New Rams starting at only $30,995 or new Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs $189 per month. Zero down can deliver. Get the price you want, the selection you need, and the VIP treatment you deserve. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, Big Finish Sales Event.
We all know that taxes are just part of life. It's true during our working years, but also in retirement. But what you might not know is up to 85% of your Social Security benefits might be taxed. Our team at Thrive Financial has helped retire thousands of people across the Delaware Valley by asking questions they never knew they needed to ask, including how their Social Security benefits might be taxed. It's time to be proactive on taxes. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Game Show with Seth Joyner.
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn.
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney.
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
And Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
Hour 2, Big Stills National Football Show. Well, the joke that is the NFL at times when it comes to their coverage of CTE. You'll only get it here because the league owns pretty much all the other media outlets. It's why you don't hear Fox, ESPN, CBS, or any of them talking about head injuries. They don't. It's a directive from the league. Okay? Tua Tagovailoa should never play a football game again. Dude, 4 concussions in 1 year? Come on, man. If you gave a shit about 2 things, raping women, you would never have given Deshaun Watson a raise and $230 million guaranteed dollars. You would have kicked him out of the league for life. And if you gave a shit about players' injuries to the head, you would demand he never play again. You would care about the quality of life for that young man. Since when do you think they give a shit? Oh, man, I forgot. I'm telling the truth again. You got to always remember. You'd rather be lied to. If you cared about Tua, on Monday, the head coach should have came out and went, as a man, as a father, as a brother, as a human, hey, I don't care what the doctors say, man. I can't fundamentally, in good spirit, put that dude back on the field. I just can't. There's going to have to be a higher being in this organization do it because I can't. I'll say it again to you. The only time head injuries will be properly addressed is when an NFL player is killed on the field. It's like talking, like I said yesterday, about gun control. Until it happens to somebody significant, nothing's going to happen. You're a statistic. And because head injuries are so vague, the NFL can hide behind vagueness. Dude, Tagovailoa should never play again. But they don't give a shit. They'd rather say, well, we drafted him in the first round. We paid him. The owners put a lot of money into him. See, right and wrong has nothing to do with the truth in the NFL. The right thing would be to do 4 concussions in such a short period of time. Dude, anybody with common sense, if that was your own child, you wouldn't let them play. It boggles the mind. But the television networks are complicit in this too. They're not going to hammer this and go after the owners because they're partners. Remember, they're all in cahoots. So if the kid dies, hey, it was going to happen eventually. That's how they'll look at it. Yeah, it's a terrible thing. Probably name a trophy after him or something. And every NFL fan will look at it and go, wow, can I tell you this? Here's something else to know. If a guy is killed on the field, it'll make the game even more popular. The NFL owners know that. Why do you think you stop on the highway when there's 2 cars turned upside down? What are you looking for? Death? Why do you think people watch auto racing? For 3 hours, guys going left? Come on, man. Yeah, hey, you see that pit stop at Daytona? My God almighty, that was great. When Ryan Newman got messed up in that wreck, everyone was like, oh my God, the whole nation stopped. Hey, unfortunately, I know. It's a shitty conversation, isn't it? But what else is left? The same old ass rhetoric? Well, hopefully he gets a lot of experts next year and go, okay, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Here's the other thing that caught my eye. Before we get into, let's see. Let's do the top 10 quarterbacks and some of these great passing seasons that are going on. Jonathan Gannon on WIP was telling us how great a coordinator Nick Sirianni was telling us how great a coordinator Jonathan Gannon is. And I'm thinking to myself, man, when this guy gets a head coaching job, I'm wondering, does he last as long as Nathaniel Hackett? This guy is Nathaniel Hackett 2.0. There's nothing exceptional about what he does. There's nothing. And get this. If he can't come up with a scheme, he asks Howie for better players. That's his way of addressing his system and his scheme of defense. Hey, we can't stop the run. Okay. Can you get me some players? So Howie's got to go to Baskin-Robbins, get two dudes standing in line for vanilla ice cream with sprinkles, by the way. Hey, Sue, Joseph, you want to play? Let me finish my cone. I'm ready. Nick Sirianni, guy's a great coordinator. Yeah, okay. But that's the narrative. I was watching that dude that was on with Sports Take. Dude, the guy couldn't have phrased it any better. Analysts nationally don't watch the Eagles. They watch the highlights. They see the sacks. They read the box scores. They don't watch the game. They don't watch the Philadelphia Eagles. Rich Gannon. Oh, my God. He's a great coordinator. Holy cow. Man. You got to love it. Oh. Seals, anything in that report? Saints trading for Sean Payton? Sean, this is what I think the Broncos will try to do. I think the Broncos will try to send Russell Wilson to New Orleans for compensation because there's still a year left on the Sean Payton deal. And maybe the Saints will have to pick up some of that salary along with the Broncos. Or maybe Wilson restructures the contract and they could potentially see something like that. Now, I don't know if Russell Wilson, I don't know if he doesn't have a trade clause in that contract of his in Denver. But it was made very clear, whoever the head coach is will answer to the owner. If I was Sean Payton, that's kind of what I want. I don't want to answer to a general manager. I want the general manager working for me. The Saints still own the contract of Sean Payton, so they would have to be compensated in some form or fashion. And I don't know, man. I mean, they would maybe want first-round picks. They need a quarterback. Yes, Sean, I think they would try to move. And you see what the Broncos did today? They fired the coach, but the owner came out and went like this. Look, we believe in our heart of hearts that Russell Wilson can be fixed. What do you think they're doing? And do I think Russell Wilson can be fixed? Absolutely not. Because you know why? This guy wants to be Jay-Z now. He doesn't want to be an NFL quarterback. Russell Wilson does not want to be an NFL quarterback. He wants to be a celebrity like his famous wife. He's got no desire to be. That's why they hated him in Seattle. Do you know nobody, from what I'm hearing, likes him in the Bronco locker room? Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson does not have any supporters in the Denver Bronco locker room. No supporters. Dude, Sierra's smoking. I mean, she's got to be one of the top 5 looking chicks on the planet. He's tremendous. Just tremendous. And very talented. By the way, let's get into this now. Big Sills. Top 10 NFL quarterbacks heading into week 17 of the season. Xander Krause may in the end be right. At number 10, Justin Fields. If this kid can figure it out, and he can figure out the passing game, and he can get some help, there might be something there. He's played better and better every time I watch him. He's a pretty decent football player. Okay? He's been playing some good ball, man. I got to give him some kudos here. Uh-oh. Number 9. Aaron Rodgers is back. Last 4 weeks, Packers look pretty good offensively. Wide receiving core coming around. Actually, the secondary's coming around. Green Bay in the postseason, Aaron Rodgers versus whomever, we'll see. Number 8, just like his team. I keep Kirk Cousins down here. He's having a great year. But I can't count on him in big moments. Number 7, Dak is back. Dak Prescott almost played a flawless football game outside of the pick 6. Dual threat, welcome to our club. Absolutely would never want that dude as my starting quarterback ever. How many times do I have to reiterate that with you? I would never have a dual threat quarterback as my starting quarterback. I'd rather have Gardner Minshew until I found the guy. No. Fields is playing well. Not for me, though. Number 6. Here. 10 is Fields. 9 is Rodgers. 8 is Cousins. 7 is Dak. Number 6, Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia Eagles. Didn't see him last week. Didn't contribute to his team. Team lost. It's kind of on him a little too. You got to protect yourself a little bit better. And the team does. Sorry, dude. You're slipping. Number 5. How about the way this guy's been playing? Trevor Lawrence. Dude, incredible numbers he's putting up. We're going to get to those numbers here in a minute. Number 4. Fastest man to 15,000 passing yards. Punched the ticket to the postseason. Way to go, Justin Herbert. Look at these 5 quarterbacks that are here. Number 3, Josh Allen, number 1 seed in the AFC. Heading into week 17, and he's on the field. Kudos to you, my friend. Number 2, Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City. What a great player. And number 1, quarterback play after an 0-2 start, who's killing it, is Joe Burrow, the reigning AFC champion Bengals. Number 1. So here's your top 10. Fields at 10. Rodgers at 9. Cousins at 8. Dak at 7. Jalen Hurts, 6. Trevor Lawrence. Look at these 5. Listen to the 5. All guys 25 years old. Trevor Lawrence, 5. Justin Herbert, 4. Josh Allen, 3. Patrick Mahomes, 2. And Joey B, number 1. Those are your top quarterbacks heading into week 17 of the NFL. Again, it all fluctuates. Here's the most important thing. Burrow won. Mahomes won. Allen won. Herbert won. And Fields won. Or excuse me, Lawrence won. They're carrying their teams. Victor goes, how do you have Trevor Lawrence over Jalen? Well, he's carrying his football team, in my opinion, with lesser talent. And after the nightmare of a year ago, he's having a spectacular year. And I'm going to point it out here in a second. And he's on the field. Hurts is not in the top 5 right now. Not with those other guys carrying their teams into the playoffs and situational seeding. You notice Lamar Jackson's not in it? I don't have Lamar Jackson in there. I don't have Tom Brady in there. Jalen Hurts is 6th. There's no Brady. And there's no Lamar Jackson. Here's your top 10 passers in the league in the years they're having. Mahomes has two games left. Is that right? 4,720 yards with 37 touchdowns and 11 picks. That is unbelievable. This guy's going to throw for 5,500 yards this year and 44 touchdown passes. That is insane. Number 2, Joe Burrow, 4,260 yards. This guy missed the entire exhibition season because of a surgery on his abdomen. 34 touchdowns. Brady, 4,000 for an old guy, 4,178. 21 touchdowns. Cousins, 4,117, 27 touchdowns. Allen, 4,029, 32 touchdowns. This guy's got 10 more touchdown passes than Hurts. Jared Goff laid an egg last week. I get it. 39-59. But listen to this number. 26 touchdowns, 7 picks. Jared Goff's playing some good ball. Geno Smith, 3,886. 27 touchdowns, 9 picks. Outstanding. And here's Trevor Lawrence's year. 3,749 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 7 picks. Dude, after last year, that guy putting up, he's going to have 4,000 passing yards. Way to go, and win a division. And then Tua's at 3,000, which is a shame, 5,048, 25 touchdowns, and 8 picks. Those are your top 10 passers. Mahomes is just nuts. 4,720 yards and 37 touchdowns is insane. It's utterly insane. Philip goes like this: I'm with Darius Slay. This guy's a hater. So you must think Slay's playing well. Look at this guy. What a stupid cheerleader you are, Philip. How stupid can you be to cheer for somebody who has sucked for 5 weeks? You're a delusional Cowboy fan. Dak owns the Eagles. He's 8-3 for sure. Dalton is 3-0 against the Eagles. Come on. That's crazy. Jalen Hurts got 1 loss, missed a game, and now he'll miss another. And you want me to put him ahead of those other guys who are putting up sensational seasons too. By the way, by the time the end of the year, you'll probably have 3 or 4 losses. That record you had in the middle of the year won't kind of matter. Come on now, man. Come on now. Saints. By the numbers. Hey, am I right when I say this, though? That 2017 Eagle team, I wouldn't want to meet them dudes in a dark alley. This 2022 Eagle team, I feel like I want to go to the fair with them. I don't know. I got free tickets. Here's your tickets. I don't know. That 17 team had a little ass about themselves. I don't know, man. They were like the salty dogs. These guys here putting Christmas albums out. You know, capes and shit. It's really great. It's great. Says you're a joke for that comment. I don't care. I don't care. Saints by the numbers. Let me see Andy Dalton here. Let me check Andy Dalton out. I want to check out something with Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's stats. Let's see here. So Dalton he's 85 and 75. And he's thrown for almost 40,000 passing yards, 243 touchdowns to 143 interceptions. It's 2-1. Not a bad career. This guy's got more passing yards than Donovan McNabb. Let me check that out. How many passing yards career does Donovan McNabb have?
Here is information from ESPN.
37,276. Andy Dalton has more passing yards than Donovan McNabb. And he goes like this. I see some idiot said he's a backup. Well, wait a minute. Let's check it out when they say that. That he was a backup? Well, here's his record in Cincinnati. 10-6, 11-5, 11-4-1, 10-3, 7-8-1, 7-9. That was in Cincinnati. Looks like Dak Prescott to me. I mean, okay, Dak has won more, but I don't know. Andy Dalton has more career passing yards than Donovan McNabb. Okay. Oh, my God. And by the way, I'm sorry for not being appropriate here. Donovan McNabb. No, I'm going to go there. This year, Dalton, Saints by the numbers. 331 attempts, 219 completion, 2495, 67 completion percentage, 17 touchdowns, and 8 picks. That's not horrible. Rushing, Alvin Kamara, 184. Isn't it funny? Alvin Kamara almost has as many carries as Jalen Hurts. Want to know why your quarterback is on the mend? Your quarterback carries the ball more than Alvin Kamara does. That's a heck of a back in Philly. I mean, right? Jalen Hurts if Jalen didn't get hurt this past week against Dallas, he would have had probably 15, 17 carries. That would have put him over 170. He'd have been right there. Him and Kamara could have been battling it out for carries. Alvin Kamara has 184 carries. Jalen Hurts has 154, and he missed the game. Dude, you killed your quarterback. He's out of gas almost. And I don't mean because of production. I'm talking about body-wise. It's not sustainable. 717 yards. 3.9, which is down for him, and only 2 TDs. Taysom Hill has 500 yards, so they're going to run the ball. How about this Chris Olave from Ohio State? 63 catches. He's at 940. This guy's going to go over 1,000 yards in his rookie year, 7 touchdowns. Kamara has 55 catches for 480 and 3 touchdowns. Kamara is still over 1,200 yards in total offense, so he's going to have to be dealt with. He's going to have to be dealt with. I mean, but this shows you what I'm talking about. Jalen Hurts has almost as many carries as Alvin Kamara, a feature back. He's a feature back. Oh, hey, look at this. Sills, don't forget, we have the Saints. #1 first rounder coming up in April. How could I forget? I'm reminded of that every week by Howie. Hey, don't forget. It's almost like a reminder and a notification. Howie has this subliminal like notification. Don't forget what I did. Don't forget. Don't forget. Hey, don't forget too. We got another #1. Let's worry about this week in the Saints. See, they're losing their focus. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are losing their focus. I do. We'll get Lane back for the postseason. Okay. Sounds like you're concerned about the Saints. Telling the Giants and everybody, well, he's not going to play for the next 2 weeks. Okay. Yeah, that's not how it's done. Yeah, we're going to, Vontae Maddox, we're still waiting to hear. Okay, so I know you're in. None of the guys out. I'm going to take my tight end down the seam now. It's almost like Howie and the Eagles gave the Saints and the Giants a game plan. Watch this. This is what came out Monday. Lane's out. Okay, we're going to run stunts and games and corner blitzes off whoever's playing or wherever Dillard or Jack Driscoll is. We're going to bring people. Okay. Vontae Maddox is out. Okay, so then I'm going to bring my back. Alvin Kamara versus TJ Edwards. Over. Over. Keep an eye on that matchup. Keep an eye on that matchup. Because you don't have a strong safety in there. And Avonte Maddox to put that guy on the ground. You do not. Keep an eye on that. Your front four is going to have to win this for you here, in my opinion. I think the front four is going to have to win this thing. I do. I think the front four is going to have to win this. Hey, I want to throw some kudos out to the Eagles here. So I looked it up. Hey, Xander, guys, you guys remember when I had Tom Thayer on from the Bears? He played on that 85 Bears team. And he goes like this. I see a lot of similarities between the 85 Bears and the Eagles. I was like, what? Do you know that the front four and the Eagle defense are just 12 sacks away from breaking the 85 Bears sack record? They're 12 away. Wow. I thought that record would stand forever. Most ever, TK. They're 12 away for the most sacks by an NFL team in history. The Eagles are 12 away. That's unbelievable. Kudos. Dude, that's tremendous. Compared to the 85 Bears, Tom might be right in the end. Dude, if you get 6 or 7 sacks this weekend, you need 5 the final weekend against the Giants, very doable. Very doable. Dude, that is maniac. Sick? That's insanity. The Eagles 2022. Do you understand that your team would do something Gang Green didn't do? And you had Reggie. There's no Reggie White on that D-line. That's pretty great, man. I won't lie to you. That's impressive. I'm impressed by that. I'm impressed. That would be such an accomplishment for the unit itself to get that. 12 sacks away. Now look, that's a lot. I get it. But the way this group has been playing, shit, they've been averaging that. TK, astronomical. Unbelievable. All the words and superlatives you want to use. Okay? Unbelievable. All right. We come back. NFL Coach of the Year. I think Nick is right in here with this. I think he's right in. Don't forget, Merrill Reese will join us in the final hour, 5:30 Eastern time. Please hit the like button. I think Nick is right here in this whole thing. Dude, 12 sacks away is quite an accomplishment. It really is. Kudos to Hassan Reddick and kudos to Jonathan Gannon, man. That's a great accomplishment anytime you're compared to the 85 Bears. Great stuff. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
When it comes to the fight against insurance companies, large corporations, and the healthcare industry, injured victims are always the underdog. But that doesn't worry us. At Mess & Associates, we're an injury law firm from Philadelphia, and we come to fight. Our clients know that they've got representation with a chip on its shoulder, and it's the same chip that makes Philly the toughest city in the country. Call 215-568-3500 or visit us online at messalaw.com. Mess & Associates, the toughest injury firm in Philadelphia.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits. Go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win. Go to Ocean.
Hi, I'm Jim Muehlbronner, Managing Partner at Delval Insurance Group. Give us a call. We're a local, knowledgeable agency, not an 800 number. Go Birds!
Number 1, Jeff D'Ambrosio. Destination Downingtown is rolling back prices for a December to remember. For a limited time, you can own, not lease, brand new 2023 Jeep Wranglers for only $30,995 or $339 per month. New Rams starting at only $30,995 or new Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs $189 per month. Zero down can deliver. Get the price you want, the selection you need, and the VIP treatment you deserve. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, Big Finish Sales Event.
We all know that taxes are just part of life. It's true during our working years, but also in retirement. But what you might not know is up to 85% of your Social Security benefits might be taxed. Our team at Thrive Financial has helped retire thousands of people across the Delaware Valley by asking questions they never knew they needed to ask, including how their Social Security benefits might be taxed. It's time to be proactive on taxes. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Show with Seth Joyner,
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn,
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney,
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
and Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Postgame, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
Welcome back. National Football Show, Big Sills. How'd you guys like to have Ed Reed on tomorrow? I gave him kudos. He's the greatest safety to ever play in National Football League. And that includes Ronnie Lott. The greatest to ever play. He's the greatest safety of all time. Belichick concurs. He's now taken over Bethune-Cookman, an HBCU school, and I have a great relationship with Bethune-Cookman. I love that program. FAMU, too. And I used to be one of the very few hosts in the state of Florida that would support the HBCU schools. I love the history of the black colleges and what they've meant to football and what they've meant to coaching. You know, Doug Williams is a dear friend. He's been on. We've had Greg Coleman on, who was just inducted into the HBCU Black Hall of Fame for football. There's now a wing now at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. When I was on in Florida, I was on in Florida for about 22 years. And I was like the only guy in the air supporting that because the amount of people that they put into the pros, Jackie Slater, Melvin Bethea, Walter Payton, Deacon Jones. Go down the list of some of the greatest players in the history of the NFL. You could make an argument that the HBCU schools, because many of those black players were not allowed to go to white schools in the 60s, 50s, and 40s. You could put a Hall of Fame list together. Those schools would beat any Hall of Fame list you want to put together. There are so many great players that came out of that. And I just love the HBCU, and I love that Ed Reed now is the head football coach there. And I told Ed, hey, our show's here for you. Anything you need. And he thanked me, and he says, well, let me get situated. Let me see if I could possibly do it tomorrow or maybe next week. And I said, take your time, Ed. I know you're going to get situated. And I so look forward to that. Shannon Sharp, absolutely, too. He's an HBCU. I also think Michael Strahan is, too. Right. Hey, William, Sean Taylor. I hope recruit the kid. I have a really great, heart for him, and he'll always be near and dear to me. I knew him exceptionally well. Yeah, Sean was. Him and Jerome would have been in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Miami had two players taken too soon, Sean Taylor and Jerome Brown. Those two guys would be in Canton. Sean Taylor was a phenomenal player. And as great as Ed was, I do think Sean had more talent. I do think he had more talent. So kudos to Ed for another high-profile Hall of Famer going into the HBCU to help expand that brand. So great. So great. They should be doing more. And look at Deion now. Deion's last stop is not Colorado. Okay? It is not. It is not Colorado. I hope Deion's next job is an NFL job. All right. Don't forget, Merrill Reese in hour number 3 at 5:30. Here are my NFL Coach of the Year, and I do have a vote in this. Jerry Rice, that's right, Mississippi Valley State. That's right. That's right. Strahan also, I think South Carolina, if I'm right, maybe South Carolina. I think South Carolina State. I think Robert Prochet is also an HBCU guy. There's so many great players that went to HBCU. Here are the Big Sills top 10 NFL coaches going into week 17 for Coach of the Year. I got Mike McCarthy at 10. Why do you think I got Mike McCarthy at 10? Okay, I'll tell you. Working for Jerry Jones? Really? Whew. I mean, I put him in the Mike McCarthy should be in the top 10 for Coach of the Year candidates every year. Because the face of the franchise is not any player. It's the owner. It's the owner. He's the face. Hey, watch this. The face of the Philadelphia Eagles is not Jalen Hurts. It's Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman is the face of the Philadelphia Eagles. It's not Jalen Hurts. Okay? It's Howie. Like when I go around the room and I'm thinking, okay, what other places at work where there's another executive that is so out there in front? Let me think. Mahomes is the face of the Chiefs, even with Andy Reid in the room. Brady's the face of the Bucs. He's only been there 4 years. Aaron Rodgers is the face of the Packers. Justin Jefferson is the face of the Vikings. The face of the Bills is Allen. The face of the Bengals is Burrow. In Philly, it's Howie. Yeah. It's Howie. My team. What am I doing? This is called the Howie slap. Hey, here's the Howie slap. Give myself pats on the back. If I could reach. Hey, this is the Howie slaps. Hey, everybody give themselves a Howie slap. Hey, it's like I'm giving signs. And I'm in a dugout with the Phillies. That's what Howie is. Howie must have got this from the Phillies. The Howie slap. Face of the Cowboys is totally Jerry Jones. Shit, man, are you kidding me? Used to be Aikman and Emmett and them dudes. No way, man. Jerry's the face. Hey, the face of the Colts is the pill popper. All right, number 9. Let me get out of there. Number 9, Andy Reid. Andy Reid loses Tyreek Hill and his team's still killing it. I love it. Number 8, a guy no one mentions, and he reminds me of one of the presidents of the United States, Zach Taylor. Sorry, I had to look his name up. I didn't know who the coach of the Bengals was, so I had to look it up. Zach Taylor. Is that his name? Okay. Zachary Taylor. Did we have a president like Zachary Taylor? I think I even drove my daughter by his house in Virginia, I think. I'm not for sure, but I think we had a president named Zachary Taylor. Okay, right? Zach Taylor, number 8. I had to look it up. I didn't know who the coach of the Bengals was. Number 7, Sean McDermott. Hey, where you go? Mexican-American War? Sure, okay. War of 1812 maybe too? Possibly. I don't know. Zachary Taylor is number 8. I got Sean McDermott at number 7. Bills are the number 1 seed in the AFC. Yeah, but Josh Allen throws a lot of picks. Well, they're the top seed, jackass. Number 6, Kevin O'Connell, Minnesota. The cardiac kids live every week, man. If it's not the Giants, it's the Colts. I don't know. He's done a really... Hey, for a first-year head coach, man, he's won a ton of games with Kirk Cousins. Number 5, the kneecap biter, Hulk Hogan, Dan Campbell. I got him at number 5. I think he's done a hell of a job. I do. I like the kneecap biter. Hey, we're going to go out there, we're going to chew kneecaps, and we're going to spit them out, and then we're going to kick someone's ass, and I'm going to beat him over the head with a bat. Okay, coach. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah, and I'm good. You have a problem with that? No, I'm good, man. I just, it's Tuesday. It's midweek here, Coach. Come on, give me a break here. I'm going to try to win some ball games here. Let me get amped up by Friday, not Wednesday. I like Dan Campbell. How come, hey, Maniac, how come every time when I say Dan Campbell, I do this? Hey, Dan Campbell. Like, Dan Campbell, man, I don't know. I feel like he belongs at the Royal Rumble. In this corner, the head coach of the Lions, Dan, Mean, Kneecap, Campbell. Okay, number 4, Brian Dable. I've never seen a guy turn a shittier program around quicker in my life than Brian Dable. The mess that Dave Gettleman left behind is like a chicken in a hen house. There's just shit everywhere. You walk in there, you're like, look at the shit in this room, man. You needed shovels, sandbags. You needed a hose. I mean, holy cow, man. You talk about chicken shit everywhere. It's all, you're like, man, I don't know, man. It's going to take me a couple of years. This guy walks in there in a couple months, he cleans the whole place up. And they're fighting for a playoff spot. Seriously, Dan Campbell walks into the Giants, right? He walks into the Giants and it's like a hen house. It's like, how come all the chicken shit's on the ground? Holy cow, that guy had a big meal. Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah, huh? Here's your top 3. Speaking of a guy walking into a barn. So Doug Peterson, this isn't a hen house. This was more like a cow pasture. And Doug Peterson walked in, looked around, and he went, holy cow, look at the shit on the floor in this place. Boy, they just let the cows take a shit wherever they want. Look at it. Man, Doug Peterson, the amount of shoveling he had to do to dig that thing out of where they are. You're now in first place in their division. Trevor Lawrence looks like the first-round pick. And they actually look like that. NTN goes over 1,000 yards. Doug's done a tremendous job. I mean, Urban Meyer ran the Jacksonville Jaguars like a strip club. He ran, when Shea Khan was talking about up in the facilities, this guy was talking about putting gold poles in and bowling lanes in and going like this. Hey, we need a couple more tables, table 17 and table 16. And I want my own table too. Chandelier's going to perform there. Yeah, I met her in Columbus. You dirty old man. Shea Khan walks in and goes, this is a football facility? No. Urban goes, no, we got a strip club here for the guys. Oh, okay. Doug had to take the strip club down. Sorry, guys, but we don't have any strip clubs here on the facility. That ain't going to work. That's not going to happen. Holy shit. Great job, Doug. Doug actually, in my opinion, can win this thing. I think Doug can win this. I think he can win the coach of the year. If he wins the division and gets the Jaguars in and he has a winning season in Jacksonville in his first year, I don't know, man. I don't know how you don't give him the coach of the year award. Okay? I got Nick Sirianni, number 2. Nick's got some big decisions, though, these next couple weeks. Or I think he does. Or he and Howie. I don't know. It's one or the other. I don't know who the coach of the year is. I don't know what Howie – should that be called the Howie Sirianni, head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles? Is it Howie Sirianni or is it Nick Sirianni? Okay. I think it's Howie Sirianni, isn't it? Howie Sirianni at number 2. I think that's what we're going to call Sirianni. Howie Sirianni. Because Sirianni can't do anything without telling Howie. Can I have Zach Pascal? Yeah, okay. Go ahead. Here's the guys that are playing. Okay. Howie Sirianni. Hey, Howie, is this okay? Yeah, okay, good. I got Kyle Shanahan number 1. So you have three different quarterbacks. Right? 3 different quarterbacks. Hey, by the way, Mr. Irrelevant, he could play. He could play. I'm waiting for this guy to shit the bed every week. He's a pretty good ball player, man. Who's number 1? Robert who? The guy from the – dude, Maniac. The only people that root for the Jets are Jody and Fireman Ed. Nobody roots for the Jets. Their coaches kind of turned it around to decent defense. No. Fireman Ed is still the most popular. No, there's two people. Maniac, there's 2 people with the Jets that will always be recognized. One is Fireman Ed, and the other one is Zach Wilson's mom. Those and Namath. Who are the most famous Jets? Well, Fireman Ed, Namath, and Zach Wilson's mom. Fireman Ed. I don't know. I don't get it. These Jet guys, man. Jesus criminy. So here you go. Mike McCarthy at 10. Andy Reid at 9. Zach Taylor. Is that his name? From Cincinnati, 8. McDermott, 7. Buffalo. Kevin O'Connell, 6. Minnesota. Dan Campbell, 5. Detroit. Brian Dable, New York Giants, 4. Doug Peterson, such a good dude. He's my pick. Going into week 17. Number 3, Jacksonville. Howie Sirianni, number 2. And Kyle Shanahan at number 1. Those are your coach of the years, in my opinion. Yeah. Wilson's mom is my favorite Jet. Me too. Hey, Blunt, that's a really great comment. Mike Tomlin leading an absolutely shitbag Steeler team and potentially to the playoffs. That's a true statement. But that's dude, they're rebuilding on the fly. Okay, how about Freeman McNeil? Who? Sorry, I remember that guy from way back in the day. UCLA, right? I don't know. It's Namath, Fireman Ed, and Zach Wilson's mom, most famous Jets. Okay? You forgot Mike Tomlin, who was quietly leading. I do, dude. I get it. Travis, how you doing, brother? Thanks for coming aboard. Please hit the like button, guys. Look at you guys, man. Look at TK. TK's not the only guy that's done this with the Eagle comment of the week. You know what the Eagle comment of the week has been? 3rd and 30. Gastineau's my boy. 3rd and 30. Hey, Chris, so you know. Look, I hang this up all the time because it was signed by everyone from the Sack Exchange. Joe Klecko, Abdul Salam, Gastineau, and Joe Klecko. Oh, no, Marty Lyons, Klecko, Abdul Salam, and Gastineau. Mark sent this to me. He's like one of my dudes. Yeah, 3rd and 30. That's the ultimate slap in the face. I get it here. I gave Saints by the numbers. Coach of the year, Merrill Reese will be at 5:30 Eastern. Also, week 17 of the NFL. We're going to look at that. Some other tidbits. I do want to talk again and reset here with the Eagles on how they should approach the Saint game. Okay? And we'll do it with Minshew. Then we'll do it with Jalen Hurts. Hit the like button. Keep it here, Hour 3, National Football Show.
When it comes to the fight against insurance companies, large corporations, and the healthcare industry, injured victims are always the underdog. But that doesn't worry us. At Messon Associates, we're an injury law firm from Philadelphia, and we come to fight. Our clients know that they've got representation with a chip on its shoulder, and it's the same chip that makes Philly the toughest city in the country. Call 215-568-3500 or visit us online at messalaw.com. Messon Associates, the toughest injury firm in Philadelphia.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits, go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
Hi, I'm Jim Muehlbronner, Managing Partner at Delval Insurance Group. Give us a call. We're a local, knowledgeable agency, not an 800 number. Go Birds!
Number 1, Jeff D'Ambrosio. Destination Downingtown is rolling back prices for a December to remember. For a limited time, you can own, not lease, brand new 2023 Jeep Wranglers for only $30,995 or $339 per month. New Ram starting at only $30,995 or new Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs $189 per month. Zero down can deliver. Get the price you want, the selection you need, and the VIP treatment you deserve. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, Big Finish Sales Event.
We all know that taxes are just part of life. It's true during our working years, but also in retirement. But what you might not know is up to 85% of your Social Security benefits might be taxed. Our team at Thrive Financial has helped retire thousands of people across the Delaware Valley by asking questions they never knew they needed to ask, including how their Social Security benefits might be taxed. It's time to be proactive on taxes. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Game show with Seth Joyner.
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn.
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney.
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
And Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
National Football Show. T. Will, thank you very much, my friend. Hey, T. Will, know this. And I'll say this and underline this again to all Eagle fans. If you guys have your full allotment of star players, you're the best team in the league. Now that you don't, you're in the 5 group. Bills, Chiefs, Niners. Bills, Chiefs, Niners, Bengals, and Eagles. I think those 5 teams, from that pool of 5, one of those teams are going to win the Super Bowl this year. I mean, I don't see an outlier. Some would say Minnesota. Really? Would you really put Minnesota in a prime premium game and go, well, Seals, did you see what they did? Yeah, I did. They lit their team on fire against the Colts. And then they had to put it out. Congratulations. The Colts are on fire. Their owner sucks. I mean, how much kudos? I don't get that either. Everyone's like, man, what a comeback. I'm like, they lit the thing on fire. They were down 33, and you want me to go, what a comeback. So you went from being dog shit to righting the ship. I've never really been a guy that does that. I don't give you credit for ripping something apart. Hey, I built it back up. Yeah, but that's what you did. You destroyed it. Like again, people keep going, Howie built himself a really great team. Yeah, after torching the 17 team, he cleaned his own mess up. I never have subscribed to that. Merrill Reese, bottom of the hour, our friend. I can't wait to talk to him. Right? 49ers look dominant. Question marks at quarterback. I agreed. Here, I'll tell you this. If Jalen Hurts is 100%, sorry, Niner. The edge goes to Jalen and the Eagles. If Minshew plays, it's a coin flip. Is that fair? Okay. Is that fair? If Jalen's healthy against the Niners in the NFC title game, Eagles are favored, and it's at home. If Jalen Hurts doesn't play and Minshew plays in the NFC title game, it's a coin flip. Eagles will win with Minshew. God bless you. I'm going to get to week 17 here in a minute. I keep asking the question, you know what Eagle fans are now doing? I don't want to answer that. I don't want to answer that. Do you play Hurts this weekend without Lane Johnson? Do you play him? Do you play Lane Johnson? Since you telegraphed the whole gosh dang thing. Why did the Eagles release all that on Monday? You had till Thursday. But the general manager has to get out there. And it accentuates the roster and all the guys on his roster. Why couldn't he wait until tomorrow to put the Lane Johnson news out? Why did it have to be Monday or Tuesday or whatever the hell it was? Why did he have to do that? No, I'm not giving ball signs. It's the Howie slap. You don't have to, dog. You could say he's questionable. He's on the active roster still. You do not have to do that. No. You say that you put a guy on the injury report. Probable. Questionable. You don't have to answer to the media. We're evaluating. Shit, you're going to have game time decisions. Howie. He's a piece of work, dude. He is, man. Holy cow. Wait till these negotiations get sauced up here with Jalen. This guy's going to be a rock star, man. Shit, man. Howie's going to be out there, man, with his binoculars and shit. You know what he's going to do, right? Howie's going to go and recruit some quarterbacks in the offseason. You know this, right? He's going to be looking for quarterbacks in the offseason. Why would Howie Roseman look for quarterbacks in the offseason? Why do you think? Why do you think Howie's going to look for quarterbacks in the offseason? Well, one, he's losing Minshew. But why do you think Howie's going to, and his staff is going to be scouting quarterbacks? Why do you think he's going to be scouting quarterbacks? Don't be offended by it. Injury, you think? Why do you think Howie Roseman's going to He's going to turn every quarterback potential candidate, first round, second round, third round, fourth round, it won't matter. Why do you think he's going to do that? Because he's got to pay Hurts. He's going to send a little message out there. Hey, we're going to go to a number here. That's where we're going to stay. You don't like it? Hey, we'll be in the same boat again, and I'll be a rock star again. They're not going to overpay for Jalen Hurts. I'm convinced of that. I'm convinced they want him. I disagree with Xander and everybody in Philly. I think there's a number they're looking at. I don't think it's just going to be an open check for $50 million. I don't. Or 46-1, whatever that idiot in Arizona got. I don't think it's going to be that cut and dry. They're not going to do it, especially since he's missed games the last 2 years. Dude, you're not going to – Miranda thinks that they're going to go, so Jalen, what would you like? Here's the checkbook. Fill it in. Yeah, okay. Because that's what organizations do. Really? Do you think they're just going to have an open, he's going to get paid very well? I would never pay him. Not me. I have no interest in nursing a dual threat guy. I'm glad to hear Lamar after a month is ready to rock for the Ravens this weekend, just in time for the playoffs. They rested him. Look at what the Ravens did. They didn't give a shit about their regular season record anymore. Do you know, I believe this. I believed that the Ravens didn't give a shit about their regular season. They just want Lamar to get into the postseason. And they rested him for a month. He's back this weekend. Now there's critical seating in the AFC, and they want to get him reps. They're not going to play him a lot. Once they secured a spot for the playoffs, Ravens aren't going to play him. They're going to figure this. Once we're in the tournament, let's see what he can do. And that's kind of frightening, a healthy Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson in a football game, dude, you never know what that guy can do. $30 million, never. Clutch Sports would call that an, dude, Loki, $30 million's an insult. That's an insult. You're going to pay Jalen Hurts $5 million more than you pay your wideout? That ain't going to work. Hurts want to shut people up with trophies. Well, I sure hope so. He needs to win one. $35 million with incentives? So you want him to work for his money. Interesting. Don't you think yeah, dude, you guys are way off. Dual threat. I'm paying Justin Herbert $45 million. Hey, let me hold on. Here, watch this. I'll tell you exactly. These top passers. Joe Burrow. How much am I paying Joe Burrow? Watch this. I'll show you flat out here. And I'll put some of this stuff to rest here. How much did you pay Joe Burrow, Sills? $50 million base with incentives. Patrick Mahomes. Well, he's underpaid already now. He's at 42. I'd pay that guy top value. Okay, he's making 42. Well worth it. Josh Allen. Right now, $42 million. Totally worth it. He's in first place. His team's got the number 1 seed, and he's 6 months into his deal. If he wins the Super Bowl, case closed. Let's see how that rocks. You can't say that Burrow's not worth the money. You don't know yet. He's got the top seed in the AFC. You can't say it's not working. You cannot say it's not working. Well, he's got 11 turnovers. I don't give a shit about the 11 turnovers. He's got the number 1 seed in the AFC, which means he gets the bye the same way the Eagles would. Who cares? I got them winning the Super Bowl against the Eagles. I've had it since March. He's panning out. Justin Herbert, I'm going to pay shitty ownership. I'm going to pay that guy $50 million. Trevor Lawrence, I'm going to hang in there one more year. I want to see it continue. I think 7 games. We saw 7 games with Baker Mayfield. I'm feeling awful good about the kid. So I'm going to do incomplete on Trevor Lawrence, but I like him. Jalen Hurts, I'll get back to you. Dak, overpaid at 42. Cousins, 35. I don't know. I'm pretty good with that. No one would ever go, well, Cousins is overpaid. Why don't you ask Justin Jefferson if he thinks he's overpaid? He's on historic paces, Justin Jefferson. Aaron Rodgers, well, $50 million? 7 and 8? I don't know. Justin Fields, incomplete. I don't know. Now to Jalen. I'm biased, man. I won't lie. I'm not paying those dudes. Dual threat. Guys missing games all the time. Kyler Murray won't be ready until next October. RG3 was a train wreck after he got injured. And by the way, he was the rookie of the year too, RG3. He hurt his knee. He was never the same. Brady hurt his knee, won 3 more Super Bowls. Peyton Manning hurt his neck in Indy, went to 2 Super Bowls and won 1 in Denver. I don't know. Those guys couldn't jump over quarters. They're not very athletic. The new NFL. Yeah, wake me up when the new NFL wins a Super Bowl. Dak's not overpaid? What's his postseason record? Dude, wake me up when Dak wins a significant football game. Dude, between him and Tony Romo, these guys are like turd burgers in the postseason. Do you know that Tom Brady in 4 years, is Brady Ben? Hey, is Brady Ben in Tampa 4 years? Tom Brady's got more wins in the postseason than Tony Romo and Dak Prescott over the last 24 years. 4 years. Brady's doubled them. How insane is that? Brady in 4 years has more playoff wins than Romo and Dak in 24 years. With those two combined. Shit, Nick Foles has more playoff wins than Dak and Romo combined. It's a great one, too. You trust Jalen? No one says anything about trusting him. I don't trust his game. Some would say, what do you mean? You don't like the way? No, I love the way he plays. I just don't like his style. Never sustainable. I said it from day one, and I'm right. I'm right. I'm not wrong. How about the 15 years of quarterback play outside Romo and Prescott? How did you like them days? You got to pay some of that. Yeah, well, my coach was there. You're lucky. When my coach was in Dallas, he did more in 5 years than Tom. He did as much in 5 years as Tom Landry did in 29 years. Remember that. Tom won 2 Super Bowls, so did Jimmy. Theoretically, he won 3. Yeah. Right? I mean, 5 years, Jimmy won. Imagine this. And Jimmy went from 1-15, taking over for a shitbag team that Landry left him. And 3 years later, they won a Super Bowl. I also have zero trust in Hurts come playoff time. Well, he may have learned. Jalen's a fast learner. Josh says that, or S. Blunt says that Josh Allen's dual threat. He is. But he's gifted as a passer more. However, he's still labeled dual threat. I agree. Blunt, if Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen get to the Super Bowl, one of those two guys is going to change the narrative. But they got to get there. They got to get there. TK goes, Devontae Smith had his best game without Hurts. Hey, by the way, let me ask you something. Did Jalen Hurts ever have a game this year where he had two guys over 100 yards receiving? Two receivers. Not Goddard and a receiver, but two receivers. Did he? I think there was there a game this year? Was there a game this year that both wideouts, Devontae and A.J. Brown, had over 100? Was there a game? I don't remember, because Devontae had a really great game. Yes, the Bears. I think you're right. I think the Bears. I think the Bears. They both were over 100. By the way, coming up in a couple minutes, we're going to talk to our friend Merrill Reese. Would you trade Jalen? No. And I don't think. Now, if Clutch Sports comes in with $50 million, I would. I'm not paying him that. Dude, I'll franchise tag your ass, and I'll turn this thing ugly. Quickly. Howie's known for that. You start messing around with Howie, dude, you don't go back into games where you start, fire Doug and a quarterback. Remember, Howie has pulled the ripcord and stepped on the trap door for numerous dudes. I mean, he is not going to have a Chip Kelly situation ever again. Dude, this guy has put so many fail-safes in that NovaCare Center for his job security, his contract extension, the people around him. He is never going to have people ever subversive again around him where they put him in the broom closet. That ain't going to work for that guy. You see, most people don't get pushed into a broom closet and, get the opportunity to come back as GM. He did. You don't usually come back. You get demoted. And how many times have you ever seen a GM demoted and then brought back into the same role? Never. You're never going to let anybody in that room. Dude, the coaches are handpicked. The staff is handpicked. The janitors are handpicked. The towel boys are handpicked. That guy's not letting anything in that building. This guy knows jocks and socks, dude. He ain't letting anybody get in the way. And Jeffrey Lurie knows that. The most powerful dude in the NFL, not an owner, is that guy. Totally. So he gets to sign Sue and Joseph. He gets to do that because the quarterback's making chicken shit money. Okay? It's the only reason. He won't have that latitude. Jeffrey Lurie's not going to be that open to spending $3 million on a Dominican Sue when the quarterback's making $50 million, according to some of you. He's like, you got to keep the budget under control here, And they've done a nice job of that. They have. How he thinks he found something with the rookie deal quarterback. Dude, totally. Oh. Hey, if he feels that this thing gets out of hand negotiation-wise, I really do believe that Howie has a number. Probably 45. 3 years. I think that's where it starts and ends. And if he doesn't want to do it, I think Howie's going to make, like I said, he's going to be on the road looking for his next young star. Bet your ass, man. Keeps him in the spotlight, too. See, right now, Jalen's taking a little shine off of Howie. Oh, Jalen's great. I love him. He's the best. He's the one of the one. Well, yeah. That's why the guy stands out front of the locker room, patting himself on the back when the boys come in. How many times you ever see the GM do that? The guy in Indianapolis, man. Seriously, I was like, is that Howie Roseman? I was like, holy shit. The GM is congratulating guys, including the head coach, before they even get in the locker room. I mean, I could see the owner doing that. It's his team. Oh, Howie, though, boy. Jesus, criminy. Yeah. Hey, I'm sorry. That was the price a minute ago. We live in a different world now. Very nice, the artist. Very nicely done. Draft day. Very nice. I love quotes, too, from movies. I love that. Very nicely done. Impossible to sack Minshew. Quick release. Okay. Without Lane Johnson in there, and you're going to start moving guys around. So wait a minute. Here, think of this, too, when people keep saying that they're going to move Jordan Mailata. So you're going to move a guy who's been playing in one position all year long to the right tackle position, an uncomfortable position at that, and you're going to keep your blind side open. So what you're going to basically do is you're going to weaken even more the player in Mailata who's had injuries all year at the right tackle position, and you're going to play musical chairs with your left tackle position. Wouldn't you rather play musical chairs with the right tackle position instead of the blind side tackle? So Jalen, when he drops back, he can't see who's coming up behind him. Jalen's a mobile guy. At least I can see if the guy's coming at me, he can duck and get out of the way. He can go through the front door, back door, side door. Every quarterback's got an escape angle, and it's designed every single play like that to have it designed. You can go out the front door, the back door, or the side door. There's always an escape in that pocket for the quarterback. Okay? At least I can see. I'd rather have Driscoll playing the right tackle or the right tackle spot. So if the guy gets off the ball and he beats him on a pass rush and Jalen has to run, at least he could take care of himself and get out and then get down. If I'm sitting here like this and I got a blind side and that guy gets away from me, boom, sack, fumble, recovery, take it back, you lose, and you're a wild card. Good night. Why make the Saints game more complicated? Hey, late in the ball game, like you were in the Bear game. Jalen's back. He's banged up. They got a pretty good front four in New Orleans. Sack, strip, pick up, take it to the house. Minute 2, game. Now you got to play the Giants for home field advantage and a division. Or do you play Minshew? Let Minshew get beat up for a week. By the way, like I said, remember what I said to you 2 days ago? Remember what I said 2 days ago? What did I say? What's more important to the Eagles and the NovaCare Center? Health or home field? What's the point of having home field if you're not healthy? So you worked this is what, tell me if I'm wrong when I say this. This is what it looks like to me. This is, GT, this is what it looks like to me. The Eagles have played so great a football this year and worked their asses off so hard. They're now in a position where they've worked so hard that now the injuries are catching up with them. They're going to have the best record, home field advantage, and get bounced in the divisional round because they weren't healthy. Everything they fought against, no exhibition football, all the things lined up perfectly. What's the point of having home field? Dude, do I think home field's important like it was in 17? Absolutely. Hey, Yale goes against New Orleans. Hey, Yale, what happened in Chicago? What happened in Chicago? That Cardinal game was close. Albeit Kyler Murray was on the field. Not worried at all? Okay. So you're not worried, because, Lane, Jack Briscoe. Is it Driscoll or Briscoe? Or Brisket? What is it? Bowie? I forget. What is his name? Jack Driscoll. Is it Driscoll? Jack Driscoll. Jack Driscoll. You would want to have him protect the quarterback's blind side. Whew, boy, my quarterback's banged up too. So let me put the lesser guy over behind him. Hey, man, don't do that to Dennis Allen. He'll come after the guy, man. He will. Okay? What's your game plan to beat the Saints? You're going to have to make this game potentially a fourth quarter game. Dude, don't throw the ball and get 3 and outs. 1, 2, 3 out. 1, 2, 3 out. The more you pass the ball, the more you keep the opposing team into the game. All you need is a couple turnovers. They threw the ball, 37 times last week? 335 yards. Put a lot of yards up. Both receivers over 100. Tight end almost had 70 yards too. All you need is a couple turnovers and 4 or 5 3 and outs. You're in the game. Same amount of first downs, same amount of drives. Dude, the critical thing about passing and the passing game, when you don't have a very good one, and I'm not saying the Eagles don't have a good one. I'm saying when you rely on dual threat and you don't have a quarterback who can break down the edges on 3rd and long, Jalen's hidden gem as a ball player is the fact when that 3rd down play breaks down, he does what? What was missing in that Cowboy game? Jalen's ability to cover mistakes made by Quezzy or Queasy Watkins and shit like that, and the turnovers. Jalen's not going to put the ball. The thing I don't like about Minshew, he throws floaters. He doesn't gun it in there. And he throws the spots. Okay? That's why when Jalen was going to go, and if he doesn't see it, he's taking off, dude. If Jalen Hurts played in that Cowboy game, and they don't, I think there's probably 2 less turnovers and probably 70, 80 more yards rushing. Probably beat the Cowboys by 10. What happened with Minshew, played well. Anytime you get 3 and outs, clock stops, series stops, keep the other team in the game. All you need is 4 3 and outs. I could be down 10 points, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Take 8 minutes off the clock. The other team gets a possession. You get 3. 3 and out, 3 and out. All of a sudden you get another 3. You're only down 4. Yeah, but you've played well. I know. It's a field position game. Time of possession. Do you think one of Quez's picks, interference? They did let him play. I thought the one over his back, I thought the Cowboy guy interfered. Queasy Watkins. That's his new name, Queasy. Little Queasy coming across the middle. And they even protect these guys. Queasy Watkins. Like me some Queasy. We're efforting our friend Merrill Reese. Merrill does work, by the way, I think today over at WIP. So he may be wrapping it up. We'll get him on. He came on last week late. So we'll hopefully get him on here again. Big Sills, it's sad that you have to tell NFL coaches Pop Warner playbook material to be successful. Dude, they just get ahead of themselves. Honestly, man. Dude, I promise you. Okay? I promise you. The Bills saw what happened with the Bears and the Eagles, and they were not going to let that happen to Josh Allen. Okay? I promise you. How I would beat the Saints, I'd do it this way. Dude, run it, run it, run it, run it. Just run the ball at him. Run the ball at him. Keep it in third and short for Minshew. Don't let him get crazy and establish who. Dude, those wide receivers, he throws floaters. Why wouldn't you establish? Can I say this to you? I'm sorry. I know some of you don't buy it. I think Goddard's the best offensive wide receiver on your team. I think he's the most impactful player once he gets the ball in his hands. That includes A.J. Brown. Dude, that guy has a nose for the end zone. He's dominant when he gets the ball. Dude, DBs don't want to. Hey, I get it too. A.J. is a force when he catches it with yak yardage, but Goddard's better. Goddard's better. Goddard, how about this? I would fear Goddard more. Okay? I would feel Goddard more. I think he is a force. Dude, Kittle, Kelsey, watch this. I don't think Travis Kelsey is better than Dallas Goedert. I think he's a better pass catcher, for sure. But as a pure tight end, I'll take Goddard. I'll take Goddard. He's bigger. He's like Gronk. And by the way, I saw we posted that on the internet. And, you know, he's not Gronk in talent. He's not Gronk in talent. Gronk's the greatest tight end to ever play the game. But he's got that system style of play. Great blocker. Block and release. Great hands. His hands have improved this year, I think, actually, even with the injury. And he's way better than Zach Ertz ever was after the catch. Just way better. Zach Ertz looks for a place to lay down every time he catches the ball. Right here, boom. Here, boom. This guy looks for the end zone. Though that guy he looks to take it to the house. Goddard's a better blocker than Gronk? Nah, I wouldn't go that far. Okay? I wouldn't go that far. Hey, Xander, let's take a timeout, and hopefully we can catch up with our friend Merrill Reese. Actually, this is cool right here. Very good. I'll tell you what, these next 2 weeks are going to be awful interesting. And it's going to be very interesting to see how the Eagles play. Again, a lot of banged up guys here. But I got to say this. Nostradamus couldn't have been more out of our friend Merrill Reese, who joins us now here. I appreciate you stepping in. Can you hear us?
I can.
Fantastic. Okay, so let's do this here, Merrill. I first have to start out here, and I first have to go down the line here and say, folks, before we do this here, we're going to try to see if we can clear up Merrill and see if we can bring him back on here a little bit here. But Merrill Reese, would you say, Xander, about, let's see, maybe the first week of the season, Merrill Reese made a proclamation. And he goes like this. He said, I think the coach of the year has a chance to be Doug Peterson, and the turnaround of the year has a chance to be Trevor Lawrence. With that being said, let's bring on Merrill Reese here. Merrill, appreciate you doing it. I don't know, man. You could be exactly right here that that Doug Peterson wins the coach of the year. What a job he's doing in Jacksonville.
He really has done a terrific job, Dan. I'm not surprised. And we have all known that Trevor Lawrence was a great talent coming out of college. And I don't think he got the king that he needed last year, but Doug Peterson knows pro football. He knows how to work with a young quarterback. And I just communicated with Doug last week, and he said coaching Trevor Lawrence is just a lot of fun. He's just a guy who soaks up everything you teach him, and he has all the ability in the world, and that's why Jacksonville has had a turnaround season. They've got a great coach.
No question about it. They're now in first place in their division. Trevor Lawrence is having a great turnaround year, and we'll see how this thing plays out over the next 2 weeks. Let's get to the Eagles here, Merrill.
I'm sorry. I was also going to say I'm in a good position because I'm right here with a coach now in Nick Sirianni, who certainly is a candidate for Coach of the Year, has the best record in the entire NFL.
You make sure you tell him that Frank Reich says hi.
Sure.
Very cool. The loss of Lane Johnson means what to this team over the next couple weeks?
It is a huge loss. There is no way to minimize it. I still think they're good enough to get the job done and to get that number 1 seed. And Lane Johnson has intimated that he may not go through any kind of surgery until after the playoffs, that he could be able to play once you get into the playoffs. We'll see. I mean, I don't have any inside medical information, but I do know that you will never meet a tougher man than Lane Johnson. And if there is any way of him getting ready to play, but without him, you're taking away probably the best right tackle in the entire National Football League. It's that simple. And that's why, Dan, I am reluctant. I'm not one of these people. I know a lot of people do it, and I know it's a lot of fun. But when that schedule comes out in April, I never take out and go W, W, L, W, W, because, this is a war of attrition. The healthy team survives. And if you can get the best team, you can get a team that is potentially 13-4. And if that team has the wrong 3 injuries at the wrong time, they could be a 9-8 team. Yeah, I mean, you just never know.
The play of Gardner Minshew, I thought he played exceptionally well for a guy who had maybe 1 practice during the week because he went down for Mike Leach's funeral, came back, goes for 355 yards, 2 receivers over 100 yards. I mean, Merrill, your thoughts on him? I mean, I thought he gave them every opportunity to win. He
did. He's a professional quarterback. But the fact of the matter is, how many games are you going to win when you have 4 turnovers?
None.
In both of their losses against Washington and Dallas, they had 4 turnovers in each game. That tells the story.
The loss of Avonte Maddox seems to be pretty significant in the secondary. I mean, 3rd and 30s, and you're seeing a hole in the defense back there. So, Merrill, are you concerned about some of the piling up of the injuries over the last couple of weeks now as they head into the playoffs?
I am. I can't mislead you. I don't want to, sugarcoat it. These are significant injuries. Although Avonte Maddox has missed a lot of this season. I think he's missed 7 games because he was out for 5 weeks with a hamstring problem. So he's missed a lot of time, and they have managed to survive. But again, they're missing a key player right there. But the key is that they get Lane Johnson back at some point, maybe Avonte Maddox. And, of course, there's no bigger key than getting back Jalen Hurts. And that doesn't minimize what Gardner Minshew can do. But with Hurts, you're talking about the MVP.
Merrill, I'm going to throw a stat at you here about the Eagle defense. Do you know that they're 12 sacks away from breaking the 1985 Bears all-time sack record? Not just the Eagle record, the all-time NFL record for most sacks in a season by a defense. I mean, there's no Richard Dent on that team, so it's pretty much a collective group. That's pretty impressive when you start to put those kind of numbers on the board.
Yeah, it's a great group, though. And when you have 9 people who can rotate in and out, and they're all quality pass rushers, that's a big thing. A guy who doesn't Hassan Reddick has been amazing. He's really played as well as anybody with 12 sacks. But there's another guy who's got 11 sacks, and we didn't talk a lot about him over his first few years in the league. But let me tell you something. Josh Sweat has become a force.
He was so great in that Cowboy game. I mean, the pick six, the sacks.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. I said this about him at the beginning of the year, Merrill. I didn't think he was a 3-down D lineman. He has totally slam dunked that now, where he is an every down defensive lineman. I mean, there is no question. If you had to put the most improved player award on somebody, it would be Josh Sweat this year.
Yeah, he certainly. Well, I don't know. I would say yes if you're talking about the defense, but if you're saying the most improved Eagle, what you have seen go with Jalen Hurts from year 2 to year 3 has just been amazing. And that's not to say he didn't show that talent last year, but the adjustments that he made, the ability to read the defenses, the precision passing that he's displayed, to me, he would be the most improved.
2 last questions here for you. What's the most important thing you think to Nick Sirianni and the Eagles? Health or home field?
Health. I do. I really do. He really cares about his players, and he doesn't want to risk long-term injury. And I don't think he has to. I think this team is good enough to get. I hope if everything is well, Hurts plays this weekend. If he's at the stage where he can go out there and play and not have a chance of exacerbating that injury. So I mean, players play hurt all the time. So if it's safe for him to play, that would be the number one priority. But if it isn't, they can win with Gardner Minshew this week too. But Nick Sirianni really does say what he believes, and he really does care about the health of his players.
Finally here, personally for you, would you play Jalen this weekend or would you sit him?
It would have to be the decision of the medical people. I would not throw him out there where he can go out and hurt that shoulder to the point where he's done for the season. If it takes one more week, I think he's getting closer. But if they say, listen, he's in good enough shape right now, and he really wants to play, and he's going to be okay unless there's something completely unforeseen. I mean, you never know. But I would say that if he feels ready and they say it's safe, I'd play him. But if there was any chance, if there was a big risk involved, then I'd sit him for another week.
Merrill, awesome stuff. Thank you so much for spending time. Again, make sure you tell Nick we said hi. I appreciate you doing this. Thank you so much, my friend. Have a great call this weekend.
Thanks, Dan. It's always a pleasure to be on with you.
You got it. That is Merrill Reese, the legendary voice of the Philadelphia Eagles. Should be very interesting this weekend to see how this thing plays out here. Health is going to be a major factor. All right, we're going to take a timeout. By the way, so Merrill Reese is in Nick Sirianni's office doing the Big Sill show. So, wait a minute. Xander. Merrill Reese is in the head coach's office doing the Big Sill show, talking to me, and Nick's across the desk. Don't ever say they don't listen to Big Sills in the show every day here on the National Football Show. We'll take a timeout, hit the like button, and how you doing? Keep it here.
When it comes to the fight against insurance companies, large corporations, and the healthcare industry, injured victims are always the underdog. But that doesn't worry us. At Messon Associates, we're an injury law firm from Philadelphia, and we come to fight. Our clients know that they've got representation with a chip on its shoulder, and it's the same chip that makes Philly the toughest city in the country. Call 215-568-3500 or visit us online at messalaw.com. Messon Associates, the toughest injury firm in Philadelphia.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits, go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
Hi, I'm Jim Muehlbronner, Managing Partner at Delval Insurance Group. Give us a call. We're a local, knowledgeable agency, not an 800 number. Go Birds!
Number 1, Jeff D'Ambrosio. Destination Downingtown is rolling back prices for a December to remember. For a limited time, you can own, not lease, brand new 2023 Jeep Wranglers for only $30,995 or $339 per month. New Rams starting at only $30,995 or new Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs $189 per month. Zero down can deliver. Get the price you want, the selection you need, and the VIP treatment you deserve. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, Big Finish Sales Event.
We all know that taxes are just part of life. It's true during our working years, but also in retirement. But what you might not know is up to 85% of your Social Security benefits might be taxed. Our team at Thrive Financial has helped retire thousands of people across the Delaware Valley by asking questions they never knew they needed to ask, including how their Social Security benefits might be taxed. It's time to be proactive on taxes. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Game show with Seth Joyner.
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn.
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney.
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
And Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
Live from Sirianni's office. How you doing? How you doing? Mac O'Sills, you a fan? Of what, Mac? Of Philly fans? You bet. How about that, man? Let's get a text message from Merrill. Merrill goes, hey, I'm sorry about the reception, but it's Nick's office. I was like, oh, well, it's okay. He goes, yeah, he's sitting right in front of me. He listened to the whole thing. All right. It's all right. I know they listen. Hey, you don't have to tell Big Sills that. Xander and I know. Why are you surprised? Devin, I'm not. That's the first time Merrill's done it. I know they listen because a few folks in the building that I know told me they watched the show. Somebody watches the show in the communications department every day. No, it's not Bob, but one of his guys does. Yeah. Well, probably keeping an eye on an Italian guy. Why are you talking shit on an Italian guy? We're family. We're almost paisans. Well, if you're Calabrese or Northern Italian, we're almost brothers. You're more of a Frenchman if you're from the northern part of the country. I'm kidding. Hey, Dan, thank you for being a sledgehammer. Hey, Brian, we're just having fun here, man. Sports talk. Remember that always in the end. Some of the people that talk on my – hey, if you guys aren't on my Twitter page at Dan Sileo Show, please join. Hey, but it's a different world because – it's funny, man, how people it's sports talk, guys. Remember that. Okay. I'm not your banker. You don't lose any investments with me. We're talking here. I got you, brother. Northern Italian all day. It separates the country. Well, James, you're more of a white sauce guy then. I'm more of a red sauce guy. You know what they say about the Italians down in the South. Hey, hey, James, that's why we can run faster. That's why Big Sills ran a 4.8. You know what I mean. Don't follow Sills. He's a bigger troll on Twitter. Thank you, Mac. Mac, you don't know what you just did for me. You just got me about 70 new followers. Red sauce, way to go, man. Of course, I'm a red sauce guy too. Except for Manhattan clam chowder. I'm not a fan of it. Okay? When Dan's wrong, he won't admit it. He punked out on Monday after his Titans and Eagles prediction. What are you talking about? I didn't punk out. I never did. I sang. I picked the Cowboys to beat the Eagles. I was right. How you doing? Hey, it wasn't because I thought you weren't better than them. I just couldn't believe Dak would lose to a backup. He better not at $42 million. That's the only way. Dude, there was 99% of me said the Eagles are better. The Eagles are better. And I'm like, that can't lose, man. You can't lose to Gardner Minshew. Nothing wrong with a good Alfredo. My daughter and my wife love Alfredo. Yeah. 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 You think Bradbury and Slay need to switch side? No. Don't switch anything now. Play better. Fitness. No, man. Don't do knee-jerk shit right now. Then you become the Browns or the Jets. Stay with what you're doing. Play better. Darius Slay's mad at me. Nick, he's mad at me. You know why, Nick? Nick, you know why he's mad at me? Because I said play better. You haven't played very well in a month. He's mad at me because I'm critical. This is my job, guy. I know you're used to those fanboys in Philly. I thought Philadelphia on-air people were tougher. They are not. Man, get my best pass taken from me. Won't let me in the building. I can't have the great lunch. Press box off limits. You want a friend, get a dog. Hey, man, did I miss the meal? Shit, how come I'm not in the press box when you talk shit on us? Yeah. I'm not answering that. Brian, I married the prom queen. That's all you need to know. I'm married to prom queen. It's a headache, but always remember this. Remember what I told you, Brian, years ago. Okay? You want to be fed? You marry a fat woman. You want to have you want to have headaches? You marry a hot chick. Trust me. Okay? I'm the low man on my totem pole in my house. But seriously, you need someone on the show to debate you. No, I don't. Been doing this for 35 years, my friend. Mac, thank you for the invite. But no. One day we'll have the technology where you guys could talk to me. Then it will be even bigger. You guys are setting the stage for that. You guys are setting the stage. Trying to get Ed Reed tomorrow. I'm working on Ed. Love to get him on, talk some football, get his thoughts on the Eagles, NFL, Bethune-Cookman. He's truly one of the legendary players in the history of the National Football League, and I'm looking forward to him, man. I'd love to get Ed on tomorrow, too, so I'm hoping 3:30 tomorrow. Okay? Tech is ready. Who wants to face Big Sills? Oh, that would make a very interesting show. Guys, thank you so much. Always remember, it is Sports Talk. Xander, Tone, everybody at JAKIB. I really appreciate you guys during this holiday time. It is really going to be an interesting week here as we get ready for New Orleans. I'll get into week 17 tomorrow. We'll look at that. Also, man, seeding now in the NFL, so important. Can't wait. Have a great one. We'll see you tomorrow, 3 to 6 Eastern, and we'll